Hey guys, welcome back. You might hear the road outside because it's quite warm today, so I've opened the windows. Hopefully it won't be too noisy. I'm going to pin my hair up out the way. As I'm wearing a bright coloured top, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a bright coloured lip. And I rarely ever do bright lip looks. It's usually this time of year, so the time's rolled round. So let's do it. So I've washed my face, I've put my moisturiser on, my SPF, my usual skincare. So I'm going to go in with some pore refining products because it is warm and I am oily. So I'm going to need something to fill in the pores but also prevent my makeup from moving. So I'm starting with this blurring primer by Mercier. This is part of the Pure Canvas range. They do different primers. This one is the blurring one. I'm going to use my finger to pop it on, and this is going on the centre of the face where I tend to get most oily. This one is specifically good for combination to oily skin. So it will minimise the appearance of pores, but it will also give a soft focus finish. What I like about this one is it is a little bit more fluid than those ones that you get that are more silicone-y. I really like the silicone ones for those days where I've had maybe a facial treatment and my pores are super clean and makeup tends to glide over them and end up looking like a little hole. Gross, but that's skin for you. So the best way to work with that on those kind of days is to use something that's a little bit more silicone-y because it will kind of fill over the pore and allow your makeup to go on without having those tiny little imperfections. So this one's nice because it starts to dry down and you can feel it on your skin. It almost becomes a little bit like a grip, but it isn't tacky. You still get that kind of sensation as it dries down, but it doesn't contain any silicone and it makes your skin feel so soft. It's like a rubbery silk. It's really lovely. So this week I had a Zoom with a company called Esho. Esho is by Dr. Esho, who is also known as the lip doctor in the UK. And he's come out with his own lip range, which is incredible. There are currently 4 in the actual collection. So we have Drench, which is a really nice way to quench your lips when they're super dry. You've got Sculpt, which is a really nice one for plumping the lips but without the irritation that most lip plumpers do to the lip. Ordinarily your lips will plump because of inflammation, because of the irritants that are happening to the lip, so your lips kind of swell and that's not really good for the lips. Whereas with Sculpt you can achieve up to 24.8% extra volume with continued use, and it uses an ingredient called lime feel, which I believe is from sesame extract if I can remember. It also has one called Coat, which is kind of like lip butter. It's beautiful, comes in lovely black packaging, great for everybody. And it also does one called Pause. So if you're somebody who already has lip fillers and you kind of want to make the most of your lip filler, that's a great one to put onto your lips when you have lip filler. You can also use it when you don't. So I'm going to start with Sculpt. This is not sponsored, by the way. They were kindly gifted, but I just genuinely really love them. I like that the little applicator prevents you from putting too much on because not too much comes out. One of the things that Dr. Esho kept saying was that people tend to flood the lips when it's not necessary. So you can get these in the UK on QVC. For foundation today, I'm going to use this one by Shiseido. This is the Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation, which is a medium to full coverage. And I'm going to use the Goss number 13 brush, which is beautiful. Look at that, it's so silky. So this is a medium to full coverage foundation. It's buildable. It is radiant, as it says in the name. They aren't cheap, but you definitely get what you pay for. There are 30 shades available in this foundation, so quite a nice shade range. Like I'm always saying, if you've got visible pores on your nose, when you first swipe over it with the foundation, you're going to kind of fill in the pore and it's going to glide off the skin, and you're left with more of that kind of orange peel to the nose. But take your brush and just stipple over your pores once you're happy with your foundation, and it will just give the most beautiful airbrushed finish. I tend to do a lot of stippling anywhere that I've put a primer, and that will give you a lovely airbrushed finish. So you can see it instantly really does even out the skin. You can see it does give more of a full coverage appearance, especially with a brush. With your fingers you can really sheer it out to kind of like medium, even less if you mix it with your moisturiser. And any redness that I've had on my skin really does disappear. I'm also going to use what's left on the bristles over the eyes. And you can see instantly it takes down the redness. The brush is beautiful, it blended it in so lovely. I still like to use the belly of the brush afterwards to kind of stipple over and just push it into the skin so you just get a really beautiful natural finish, but it's so soft. Everything you would expect from Wayne Goss. I would then recommend going in with your finger and just pressing that in underneath the eyes, anywhere you've applied it, around that area, so that the coverage is a little bit thinner and it's less likely to crease. You don't have to take it over your eyes, you can use a concealer if you prefer. I just don't like that super full coverage that a concealer gives. I like to press it in around the eyes so it doesn't enhance wrinkles. It looks a little bit thinner, a bit more natural. So it's often a good idea to play up the lips but play down the eyes, because if you've got both heavy eyes and heavy lips, it's kind of always a bit too much, and not many faces can take that amount of makeup. I like to keep the eyes really simple. I'm going to use some NUDESTIX, which are my absolute favourite. I do have a discount code, so it's up to you guys if you want to use it. They do ship worldwide as well, so even if you're in the UK or elsewhere, they do ship over. So you can still take advantage of my discount code, which is 20%, and it is Shonagh20, which I will put on screen and link in the description bar. The eyes will be super simple, but I'll zoom you in anyway. The first shade I'm going to take is this Magnetic Matte Eye Colour by NUDESTIX in the shade Terra, which is pretty self-explanatory. It is a terracotta shade. Using it straight from the bullet, I'm running that over the entire eyelid up to where the eye naturally creases. And then you can either use your finger to blend the seams or a brush. The one I'm using is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the A6 Blend and Buff brush. As you can see, it really does blend out seamlessly. It is so easy to work with, and once you've blended it out, it will set in place and it won't move. I've decided just to pull it out slightly on the outer edge, but you don't have to do this. I'm also taking it underneath those lower eyelashes, and this is to frame the eye. A little tip when you are doing the blending is to pick a brush that has synthetic bristles, because this works best when you're working with cream-based products. Now I'm going in with this Magnetic Luminous eye colour, also by NUDESTIX, in the shade Praia, which is a beautiful golden sand colour. You can see that we blended the first colour just past the socket line, so this is going from the root of the eyelashes and we are blending it up to where the eye naturally creases, but we're not going to take it any further. And the reason I put the first shade over the entire eyelid is just for ease. Rather than just going into the socket line and trying to make sure you don't get it on the eyelid, you may as well coat the entire area, because these colours blend so beautifully and layer so well. And this means it works beautifully for all eye shapes, even if you have hooded eyes. I'm going in with another Magnetic Matte Eye Colour in the shade Taupe. And I'm using this quite subtly along the root of the eyelashes. This is going to make that area look a little bit fuller and very subtly smoky, but it is really subtle. You'll see once I zoom out and you see my entire face, this is so subtle, but it really does make a difference. So I like to apply one layer, go in with my brush and soften it, and then reapply it. And you can do this as many times as you like until you're happy with the intensity. The second time I'm blending this out, I'm using a slightly smaller brush just so I don't blend this second layer too high. Along my waterline, I'm taking this Makeup Geek pencil from the Full Spectrum collection, and it's in the shade Spice, which is almost identical to the taupe shade that we've just applied along the top lash line. Firstly, I'm taking it along the waterline, and then I'm blending it down between the root of those lower eyelashes before blending it with my finger. Eyelashes are obviously optional, but I've decided to opt for these number 35 lashes by Prima Lashes because they are longest in the middle. They're not too intense when you're looking straight on, and as you can see, they're only a single layer, so they're quite light. I've applied a thin layer of duo glue to the lash band, and I've allowed it to go tacky. So then I like to place it directly on the centre of the lid with the eyes open. And then using the tweezers, I grasp either side of the lashes and almost stretch it along the length of the root of my lashes. Once I've allowed that to kind of dry in place, I go in with some eyelash curlers and pinch the band to my natural lashes, and it also just lifts them a little bit. So you can see they look a lot prettier front on than when they were first applied. Obviously my natural lashes aren't as dark as the falsies, so I need to go in with some mascara. One of my favourites for being super black and not too thick in its consistency is the Benefit Cosmetics Bad Girl Bang Mascara. I concentrate applying this at the root of my natural lashes, and then I use what's left on the bristles to pull that up just to give the lashes a bit more of a mascara vibe. It also helps to seal my natural lashes to the lash band, which means they're going to stay in place a lot longer. And then I'm just finishing off with a coat on my lower eyelashes. So as you can see, when I take a step back, the eye makeup is so simple but very effective. It's just a little something there so that when you've got the lip on, it feels like you've made an effort with the eyes, but it's not over the top, and it's more about the lashes. Now, I did say I would use this again. Lots of you asked me to, so I'm going to use this today. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills face palette in the shade Italian Summer, which is stunning. I always flip between two brushes. Recently I've been using a lot the 132 brush by Zoeva. I love this one, it's really precise. I use it for bronzer, contouring, blush. I just love it, I've got a ton of them. And before I went onto my little phase of this one, you know I absolutely loved the 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek Brush by Zoeva. Both divine. This one is angled so it sits into the hollows of the cheeks and makes life really, really easy with blending. Either of these are fantastic. You can't go wrong with Zoeva brushes. Affordable and fantastic. They both need a clean, but I love them. So I'm going into the bronzer. I need a little bit because it's quite pigmented, as you can see. So today I'm using the 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek Brush, and I'm popping that into the hollows of the cheeks and just working the brush backwards and forwards. And as you can see, it really just does all the work for you. This bronzer is from the Light palette. It did make me think when I first got it, it might be a little bit too intense for anybody with a fairer skin tone than myself. So anybody that's fair might just find this to be a little bit too dark. If you've tried it and you're fair skinned, let me know what you think. Just one thing after another. Now the ice cream man's going round. Where we've just moved to, they're still building the last 3 at the end of my road. So there's like building vehicles going backwards and forwards all day long. And it doesn't bother me at all, except when I'm trying to film. So take this around your hairline. You'll notice that I haven't bothered to apply any concealer today. The foundation has such good coverage that I don't feel like I need it. I have got pigmentation coming up here, but when it's like a bit more of a summery look, I don't mind it peering through. It doesn't bother me too much. For blush, I'm going to use these new ones by Hourglass. These are the Vanish Blush Sticks. They are beautiful. Look at this packaging. Stunning. I love the little triangular formula. And the shade I'm going to use today is called Devoted. I wanted to use this one today because it's a little bit more neutral. And because we're going to have more of a bright lip, the blush just can be a little bit more subtle. The other one I really like is Wonder and Sacred. I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe number 7 brush because I feel like this just applies it really well. So I'm going to dip my brush just onto the surface. So just softly coat the bristles in the colour. So what you want to do is smile to create these little balls on your cheeks, pop it on the apple and then just flush the colour backwards. Really pretty. And because it is a cream, you'll just get a really soft, radiant finish. Radiant but not dewy, because it is more of a kind of natural finish. On the lips today, I'm going to apply this product by L'Occitane. The colour is Spring Sunrise 003, and it actually matches my top pretty well. I swatched these over on my Instagram and you guys loved them. The pigment payoff is insane, and they are so comfortable to wear. Look at that. Wow. And they smell fruity too. So this will give you a beautiful satin finish. It's long lasting, it's enriched with vitamin E. It contains a unique blend of fruit and vegetable extract. So it's vegetarian friendly. And when you breathe in, you get a kind of like fruity finish. It's really lovely. It's actually a really good match to my top. That is today's super easy, quick and simple makeup tutorial, really effective. If you had a nice little red summer dress on and you were going out to meet the girls, now that you're able to do so, go out for cocktails, whatever, and you want to feel like you're spruced up but you don't look over the top, you could pop something like this on your lips and it will really liven up your face. Don't forget, all the products I've used will be listed and linked in the description bar. Don't forget to take advantage of the NUDESTIX discount code, and that will give you 20% off site-wide. So anything you want to try NUDESTIX, use the discount code Shonagh20. As always, thank you so much for watching and coming back every Sunday to watch. I so appreciate it. Please like the video, please subscribe if you are new, please put your notifications on because there are so many of you subscribed to my channel and yet such a very small amount of you ever see my actual uploads. So don't forget to turn your notifications on. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye!